What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. This is your boy Gil here. Hey guys, you know we'd like to start the show off always by giving love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. First is going to be our friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, Yellow Jacket has been making quality tools for 70 years. They have new products coming out. They're built strong, they're built to last, and their warranty is bar none one of the best. I've been able to meet these people, and it is just amazing the service and quality that they provide. If you are searching for a new tool, whether it's a vacuum pump, digital gauges, some of the new tubing benders, all aluminum, color-coded, please go check out Yellow Jacket at your local supply house. And remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. Next is going to be our buddy, Mr. James Alul, formerly known as Better Air, also now with Contractor Rescue. If you are a small business and you are looking to take your business to the next level and you're kind of hitting those hurdles, you need to check out James over at Contractor Rescue. He does ride-alongs. He can ride with your techs and show them how to offer different things, how to get those tickets up, and give them the tools they need to have those technicians be successful once they're in the home. Also, sometimes it's hard hearing things that you're doing wrong in your business. But if you want to know the truth and you don't want somebody to come in and bullshit you and just take your money, and you want to be better at business and you want somebody to just flat out be brutally honest with you, then James is the guy. You're going to get what you pay for. Okay, so I suggest if you guys are interested, go check out the Facebook group, Contractor Rescue on Facebook, or you can email us at hvacuncensored@gmail.com, and I can also get you in touch with James. All right, until then, on to the show.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended, because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelly McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelly.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I am your host, Gil Cavey Jr. Hey, everybody, we're doing this show a little different. I am not sitting alongside my brother from another mother, Mr. Kelly McKay. It is actually just me here this morning, and it's a little different because as some of you have seen, I've made a video, and this is the one that I want to talk about. And I'm gonna ease into this, but I want to talk about some of the issues that we deal with in this trade. Me and Kelly had some scheduling issues, and I figured this was the best time to put this out. As you guys know, by doing this podcast and having the Facebook group, I talk to a lot of you, sometimes on a personal level, sometimes just kind of here and there, but I get to talk to a lot of people. And most of you who have been following me and Kelly since the, beginning of this podcast know that I've always been pretty open about my past and things that I've done and things I'm not proud of, but it is what it is. So this one it's going to be with some of the things that we have to deal with in this trade. If you see that the name of this podcast is Things Aren't Always What They Appear. And what I mean by that is sometimes all of us are struggling in different ways. And I want to start off by saying that I want all of you to know that you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you because you have these issues. Okay. I'm going to give you some of my own personal issues that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, things that I've dealt with in my life, but this podcast is in no way, shape, or form about me. I'm just going to use them as examples. This is supposed to be for everyone, and I hope that this really helps. And if something comes from this moving forward to help people, I am all for it, like I said in the video. So we know in our industry that we work a lot of hours. We know that you miss a lot of family cookouts. You're late. You get home late. A lot of times in the summertime or the busy time, you're gone before your wife and kids get up. And when you come home, they're already asleep. It's kind of the nature of the beast that we deal with in this industry, which is why we have a very high divorce rate. We have a very, very high as far as drug addiction, alcoholism, depression, mental health issues. I mean, there's a lot of things. And me personally, And something that I've never hid from anybody is I dealt with drug addiction years ago and I beat it. One of the hardest things that I've ever had to do in my life. It's not easy. When people get stressed out, they're living that life. It's sometimes you think it's the easy way out, and it's definitely not. So I can speak to that firsthand, sadly. The other thing, one thing that's really gotten me, it's really hit me kind of hard. And it's one of the things that I look back and I think, I don't understand why I have this, but I have suffered from anxiety issues and depression for a long time. And it's weird because when I tell people that and they're like, I guess on the outside, it looks like I have this little perfect life. I have a beautiful wife. I have 4 amazing children. I have good businesses. I have, I'm financially okay. But that just proves to you that doesn't always matter. And sometimes we can't help the way that we feel. When it comes to anxiety, I said a little bit this on the video that I put on Facebook, but especially after being a former addict, I always like to be in control of a situation. I like to be able to try to control outcomes as best as possible. And I don't like the fear of the unknown. So sometimes my anxiety gets to me and I can't help it. I'm not one of those people, I am great talking to people, talking to strangers. I actually feel very comfortable in that spot. So that doesn't bother me at all. I know that bothers some people. It gives them anxiety. So anxiety can mean different things to different people. Okay. And I am no way, no shape, no form, like I said before, a professional or nothing like this. I'm just speaking on things that have happened to me and, things that I know firsthand that have affected me. So when I can't control things, that gives me anxiety. So it's just kind of something that happens. There's nothing that we can do about it. I mean, I've been to counseling several times about different issues, and it's definitely good to talk to somebody. It's not something that you should keep to yourself. And when you say depression, people see depression, having depression doesn't mean that everybody's going to try to commit suicide or off themselves. That is very severe depression. I won't sit here and lie and say that I've never, ever had those thoughts in my life, but I'm not at that. That's not the point I'm not at that point right now. But I do suffer from depression where sometimes I feel like no matter how many good things that I do in my life, it's just never enough. And the people close to me that I love, tell me that it's, Gil, you're doing good. You're financially okay. Yada, yada, yada. You're doing this and life is good. And they're right. It is. And I think that's what makes it so much harder sometimes, because you try to stand back and look and you're like, why do I feel this way? Everything in my life is good. I mean, I pay my bills on time. I mean, we have everything that we want. My kids are healthy. My family's healthy. And it starts to make you wonder, what the hell is wrong with me? But that's what I'm trying to get to. There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes this is just programmed in our brains. I just want you to know if some of you out there are having these feelings, it's okay. Talk to somebody. Go to a counselor. Don't think that something's wrong with you because you have these feelings. And this is this is one of the few things that I've kept close. I've never really told people this, but it is what it is, man. I don't care. If me speaking on this helps somebody, then so be it. And one of the other things, not even, I've never been a big drinker, but I know some people kind of drink away, the hurt inside of them. And then other people do the drug addiction. I know some people that I've talked to that are going through marital issues or divorces. And the one guy put in the group, the Facebook group, and I won't say his name because I don't remember, but even if I did, I wouldn't say his name. But he just said he's a marriage of 6 years. And he said, how does anybody go through this? I can't even work and think straight. And, That's where I think in some of these groups and on Facebook and stuff like that, man, I know we bullshit and we have these dick measuring contests, but on the same token, we can be strong together and help each other. Because a lot of us, especially you've been in the trade for a while, like you're hip to the game. You know what's going on. You know how it is out there. You know that people do drugs, that people drink, that people have these kind of issues. So I don't know why we get on and we front on Facebook and we act different. And, and there's a lot of people, and I won't say names on this either, but I know a lot of people that they seem like everything is all hunky-dory on Facebook, and then behind the scenes, it's not. And I try not to be that way. Obviously, I try to joke and smile and put a happy face on because that's what people want to see, but I'm not going to sit here and act like, I don't have issues like the next person does. I mean, we all got bullshit, everybody has bullshit. It's just the way the world works. I guess the point of this is I want people to know that it's okay, man. It's tough. Sometimes these blue collar trades, they're very rewarding, and the knowledge that we learn and the services we provide to people, it's very valuable. But at the same token, it takes a toll on our bodies, our minds, our relationships, our bank accounts. I mean, there's a lot to it. So I am willing to start a meeting, a group, a Zoom meeting, whatever it is, in private. It can be on YouTube, whatever people want. I don't care where we do it. Probably in private would be better off, like a private Zoom meeting. If some of you want to get together and talk about stuff, man, just vent to people that know what you're going through, people in your field that can relate to what you're talking about. I am more than happy to do that. I know with my issues at the beginning of this year, for some reason, it hit me really, really hard. And I don't know why. I just had this feeling like I wasn't good enough. Like I wasn't doing something right. And it kind of comes on and hits you. And it's almost like there's nothing you can do about it. So I was going to counseling. And then my wife's going with me. We're actually still doing it now, but it definitely helps to be able to get those issues out and help, because, the feeling of not knowing like why this is happening, why I feel this way, it's pretty weird. It's weird. I don't like it, So, and they almost go side and side, because the depression and the not knowing why I feel this way brings up the anxiety, because now I have a situation that I can't control, that I don't understand why it's happening. I thought I was bipolar there for a little bit. I'd come home and I'd have these, my wife and my kids, especially my two little beautiful daughters. They're little angels, and, they're looking at my face, daddy, this, and I'm angry. And I don't know why. And then I would sit back and think to myself, and I'd get so upset, like, Gil, what the fuck is wrong with you? You got this little beautiful angels and, sitting in front of your face, wanting your attention and calling you daddy, and you're mad inside. So it was a tough pill to swallow. My wife and my kids, my family is the reason that I do what I do, like all of us. They're the reason we get up every day and we bust our fucking ass, to make the money that we earn is for our families. So when I come home and you got feelings like that and you don't know why you feel that way, it's fucking scary, man. It's fucking scary. So that's just some of the things that, that I had, being mad and having no reason, no idea why I was mad. Literally happy one moment and pissed at the world the next moment. And I have no fucking clue why. So I am getting the help I need to make myself better. And that's okay. And I want all of you to know that if there's something going on with you, like, get the help that you need. Talk to somebody. I don't want anything to happen to any of you out there, where you feel, because what happens is when you start to feel like you're alone and no one understands, that's when you start going down the real dark rabbit holes. That's when you start talking about addictions where it leads to overdoses, alcoholism where it leads to overdoses or accidents, DUIs, which none of you want. If you had them, I thank God I've never had one of those, but you don't want one of those. We just had a guy, which I'm going to be very vague on this because it's not right to talk about somebody else's business, but had to go through this. And somebody ended up dying from it. And now his life is going to change, probably not for the good. It's going to change drastically. Well, of course we know it's not for the good. That's kind of stupid, but it's probably going to change drastically. So, or that's when people start having those suicidal thoughts, and definitely don't want any of you to have that. So, but now that we've got out of the way, I want to talk about some things that have helped me and some tips and tricks, which I hate saying tips and tricks. Me and my partner Ryan and the company were talking about that. Tips and tricks sounds like I'm talking about hoes, Gonna turn tricks, man. Want to sell my booty hole for $10, but never mind. You know what I mean. Some things that have helped me, literally, man, when you wake up, you want to change your mindset to what you want to keep it a positive mindset. Like, I'm a positive person. That's how I've always been. I like to stay positive. I like to cut negativity from my life. So if I have a negative person that is around me and that's all they do is try to bring me down or bring the mood down, then I disassociate myself from that person. Plain and simple. I'm old enough. I've been around the block a time or two, and I don't want those people in my life. So, and Kelly said this, and this is why I love Kelly so much. And I'm gonna read this, and I know Kelly won't care, but this is why Kelly, I'm talking about Kelly, obviously the co-host of the show, is why he's such a good friend to me. When I was going through stuff, man, he said, okay, man, no worries. No, not that part. He said, get your mind right, bud. While riding tomorrow, repeat to yourself out loud, I am happy, healthy, and wealthy. Keep repeating it. Your mind will start to take action towards without even you directing it. Keep repeating it. Your mind will start to take action toward it without you even directing it. It's called auto-suggestion, and your mind doesn't know the difference. It takes repetition every day out loud. Repeat it to yourself also. Sounds wishy-washy, but man, it works. Your mind will try to fight it, telling you that, yeah, but I'm not this or that. Keep repeating it anyways. I've been talking out loud to myself whenever it crossed my mind, and for a few years, it's healthy. It's healthy for your mind. You have to feed it. You have to let the bad shit out. But even when it does happen, you got to keep feeding it with positivity, inspiration, and motivational things. So that is words to wise from my buddy Kelly. And he's very right, because you do that and you wake up and you've ever noticed, like, you're getting ready to go into a service call or sales call or whatever it is. And you just tell yourself, like, I'm going to sell this motherfucker, like, I'm going to sell this. I'm going to go in here and do the best fucking job anybody has ever done, ever. I'm going to go in here and sell this. And it's amazing how you go in with the attitude, and maybe you don't sell all of them, but you have a good experience. It feels good. And you leave there knowing that you did everything that you could do. And it's, I feel bad sometimes because I tell this to other people and they do it, but then I don't want to be a hypocrite when I don't do it for myself. One of my technicians, I told him, I said, man, I want you to wake up in the morning and say that you're going to fix everything. You are going to provide the best fucking service to these customers that they've ever experienced in their life, to the point that they're going to be begging you for whatever that you're offering them, because they know that nobody is going to be as good as you were. And he was so thorough that day. He sold 3 systems in one day. 3 cracked heat exchangers, which I saw myself. Any heat exchanger that gets, cracked and the system gets replaced, me and my partner Ryan look at it. All 3 of them were cracked. And when you take that thing out and you sit it on the floor, there's no denying it. It's not some smudgy picture on a camera or your cell phone, you took 9 years ago and you're showing the customer. So no wishy-washy. I'm talking about being honest here. So you tell yourself every day that you're happy, you love your life. If you're religious, talk to Jesus. I won't put religion in this because I know that's for some and not for all. But if you are religious, then you talk to the big guy every day. You have to set your mindset sometimes. Sometimes the hours, the stress, the the body fatigue, like it catches up with everybody. And that just happens. Like that is normal. And a lot of people, I give it to them. A lot of times they can get through it and maybe they don't have an issue or they have a vice that's not so negative as some of these others. And hey, amen, more power to you. But some of us don't have that. So we have to find ways to be able to get through that, in this kind of trade. And this podcast, I don't want this to be all poor me and, oh my God, I hope Gil's okay. I'm fine. The reason that I am making this is because I know that there's a lot of you out there who suffer with these issues. And I've had a lot of you reach out to me. That's how I know. When I made that video, I had a couple people reach out to me. And after I made that video and put it in the Facebook group, I'm talking emails. I got text messages, private messages. I got a lot of different messages. So I know that there are people out there who suffer from this. Granted, I've been through a divorce. Thank God luckily that I've married the same woman twice. We realized our mistakes and got back together. But I know divorces are not fun. There's nothing fun about them, especially when you have children involved, and they can be a brutal situation. So I'm sorry for any of you out there that are going through that. I know it's not easy. I know it's tough. And I wish there's something I could say to you to make it better, but let's just all be honest. There's nothing that we can, there's nothing I could say, or no secret that I can tell you. They just suck. Especially if it's not a mutual, if it's like somebody cheating, or something like that. It sucks, but I will tell you this, things will get better. Okay. So if you are going through that situation right now, I want you to know that things will get better. And I know maybe at this moment right now, you don't think they will. You're having all those negative thoughts like, man, I've been with this person so long. How am I going to go on? How can I live without this person? And those are all natural. It's, those are natural thoughts. But I promise you, you will move on. You will find someone else. You will be happy again. It's like anything. When somebody passes away, you need to grieve. I don't want to say time heals all wounds because I really don't believe in that. As somebody, I've lost my best friend and my father within a 6-month period. I have a lot of friends that I've buried, family members, that are tattooed on me. But my dad and my best friend were, literally 6 months apart. That was probably the hardest thing. One of the hardest things I've dealt with in my life. And that's one of the few times that I really, really thought deep that I might go back to drugs. Because I wanted to do anything to numb the pain that I was feeling. Thank God that I didn't. But I definitely scared myself. But things like that, we can't control, and sometimes you have to deal with it, and I know some people out there, once again, I won't say names, going through people passing away, and it sucks. My father was my hero. He taught me this trade. He's the reason that I'm the man that I am today. And when I lost him, I watched my dad take his last breath. And that played in my mind like a broken record for years and years and years. Well, I don't want to say that. My dad's only been passed away for 4 years now, 4 or 5 years, something like that. But yeah, after it first happened, I would close my eyes and, go to sleep at night, and all I would see, it would play over like a broken record, my dad taking his last breaths. And it haunted me. And it's one of those things that I had to get over. And when people say time heals all wounds, my dad passing away still hurts today as it did the day that he passed away. But I also know that I need to keep moving on, but it doesn't hurt any less. So that's why I don't believe in that. I think time may help it because you start to learn how to cope with it better as far as time going by. But it definitely, I don't want to say, I don't know. Maybe time does heal wounds. I don't know. But it still hurts regardless is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah, my dad taught me this trade. He was my hero. I looked up to my dad. We became, really good friends. My dad was one of my best friends when we got older. So the loss of him crushed me hard. And I'm one of those people where I don't always show my emotions. I just kind of push them down because I don't want to deal with them. And then when I do, they kind of blow up, which isn't good. That's why I say you have to be able to talk about things and talk to somebody that you trust. Somebody will just listen. And sometimes that's, I can't think of the damn word. I just said it earlier. Paying someone, counseling. Jesus Christ, I couldn't think of it. Go into counseling. Somebody you don't know, who knows nothing about you or the situation you're going through or the people that you're talking about, and they just listen. Sometimes it's really, really, really good. And it's worked for me. And I never thought it would be good for me, because even though that I got a big mouth, which is why I do this podcast. And, I love to put my talkers on and talk to people. Not always about myself, though, or about my own problems. That's different. Most people don't want to do that. You'd rather talk politics than talk about your own problems. But sometimes it has to happen. You need to do that. And I think it's healthy. And I think the older I've got, I've learned that. Talking about things. Communication is huge in a business, in a marriage, in any kind of relationship. For all you out there that you're married, whether you're, man or a woman, that communication with your spouse is huge. And it's one of the biggest keys to a successful marriage. You have to have that proper communication with each other, whether it's about finances, whether it's about your feelings towards each other. Anything, you have to have that communication. In business, you have to be able to communicate with your technicians, your office staff, all that about what's going on in the business. Because without that communication, you will not be successful. So we all have to have that. And I know this is a weird podcast to do, but like I said before, I know that a lot of people have these kind of feelings inside, and that's why I wanted to make this. Not gonna lie, I needed to fill a void in a week to put a podcast out. But rather than recycling something old, I wanted to talk about something that was fresh and something that's been going on in my life this year. 2021. Most people on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, you're doing your New Year's resolution and setting your goals for the year. And man, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna fucking crush it, which is good. It's what you should be doing. But for me, I just had a fog over me, and I felt like I couldn't shake it. And I'm finally starting to feel like myself again, which is amazing, because I absolutely hated feeling that way. I don't think I'm 100% yet. I won't say that, but I'm definitely on the right track. So yeah, it is what it is. And I don't say that being cocky, but I mean, I'm fine financially. I can buy anything that I want, whenever I want it. I have a nice house. I have nice cars. Like I said, my family's healthy. It's sometimes those things don't matter. And that's what my counselor has told me, that sometimes your mind feels the way it feels. And those monetary things or those possessions don't mean a fucking thing. And there's a lot of people out there that you might, on the outside looking in, you're like, man, they got the perfect life. Look at them. They got everything. Look at those nice cars. Or, man, they were just on that 2-week vacation to Mexico. Or, man, his business is doing so good. Man, he must have a really good life. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. You don't know. Everybody's different. And you don't know what's going on inside of, between those ears, what's going on in that brain. So we all have different emotions, different feelings about things. So, no two are going to be the same. So, I mean, you could have similar lives and the outcomes could be different. I don't want to sound like Dr. Phil, I'm Dr. Gill. You listen to HVAC Uncensored with Dr. Gill. But I'm not going to make this too long, man. I just wanted to put this out there, talking about some of my own personal issues, and hopefully that this helps somebody else out there. If you guys are out there going through any of these issues, please get help and talk to somebody. Please. I am no professional, but if I can help you, if it's me having a half an hour, phone call with you, or if some of you do want to do a Zoom meeting, and turn your cameras off. If that makes you feel better, turn your cameras off. We'll just hear you talk and put in some goofy name. The only person that'll actually know your name is me. Nobody in the group will know. If that helps you getting it out, talking to like-minded people like yourself, then I'm all for that, man. I really, really am. And to some of the people that I won't say all their names, but some of the people that I've talked to that have helped me, obviously family, my big brother, which he's in some of these groups. You guys might see him. Kelly, the co-host of this podcast, my partner, Ryan Grimes, in the business, James Alul, who also suffers from some of these issues. It's it's a lot of times the people you wouldn't think. And sometimes they're very successful people. And it's just, you don't know what happens, behind closed doors. But before I get sidetracked, thank you to all those people that I've opened up to and talked to, and they've helped me and helped guide me in the right direction. I can't thank you enough. I really, really do appreciate it. And all of you need those people too, to be able to talk to you and guide you in the right direction. Whoever that may be for you, you need those people. And I want all of you, man, I know this sounds cliche, like Kelly said in his text to me. I want you guys to wake up tomorrow and I want you to be, I'm fucking happy. I'm good. I'm going to make today be the best day ever. And then keep doing that as you go. Keep trying to make the best day ever. And I want to say this, if any of you out there, if you are having financial troubles, which, hey, we all do. I've been there. I've done that. I've lived week to week. I lived to where I could never make enough money, just because of the lifestyle and how I was spending money. I know it is. I know it sucks when you have those financial struggles and, the stress that gets put on yourself of how you're going to pay this bill and, damn, how am I going to do this? Or I just paid the rent payment or mortgage payment and I don't have enough left to pay this. And I know that sucks, but you know what? Those bills are always going to be there. Don't worry about something that you can't control. And I know I'm going against one of my issues, but I'm serious. Don't worry about things that you can't control. That bill's going to get paid when it gets paid. When you have the money to pay it, you'll pay it. So you stressing yourself out and going to work and putting that stress on yourself, it's not worth it. If you're in a relationship, whether it's a marriage, just boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever it is, and you have issues, communicate, talk to that person. Maybe you're not right for each other. And sometimes that sucks to hear, but it's the truth. Communicate, take that person to counseling, sometimes you're in these destructive relationships that make your life hell. And when if all that is good, if you're good financially, your relationship with your significant other is good, make sure that you spend quality time with those people. I'll be honest with all of you. I had the beginning of this year, I had severe doubts whether I was going to continue this podcast or not. Not because I don't love all of you and I don't love doing this podcast, but because of time. The fact that I do have a wife with a brain condition, I have 4 children, and I have, several businesses, but businesses that I handle. So, and to me, it's always my family, then business. And then the podcast has always been third. And I thought maybe I should stop doing it, and that time should go towards my family. But my family knows how much I love doing this, and they know how this is kind of a stress release for me. And I really, really do enjoy doing this. I love it. I love doing this podcast. I love helping people, truly love helping people. And I could do this podcast and make not a single dime off of it. And as long as I get the emails from people saying, thank you, man, thank you so much for your help and all this other stuff, that would be enough for me to keep doing it. It really would be enough for me to keep doing it. But so obviously I've decided to keep doing it. My wife and kids all told me that they love that I do the podcast, that they know that I love doing it and they would not want to see me stop. So that made me feel really, really good. So the podcast is going nowhere. But one thing that I've tried to do is when I'm home, put those fucking phones down, man. Put the phones down. Stop watching the fucking YouTube videos, unless you're watching HVAC Uncensored. Spend time with your family. Okay. Be present in your children's lives. Be present in your wife's lives. Like, be a good husband, be a good wife, be a good mother, be a good father. And I noticed for me, I would come home, and this isn't always, because I've always done everything with my kids as far as sports and different things like that. But I found myself down this little rabbit hole where I'd be sitting in the living room with everybody, but then we'd all be on our phones, or I'd be on my phone, watching YouTube or scrolling through Facebook. And not saying there's not a time and a place for that. But don't let that take away from time that you can never get back. Everybody, we can always make money. Okay. Time is something that we can never get back. And as someone who's a father of 4, and some of you, I know several people that have way more children than I have. Those little precious memories that you make, you'll cherish forever, and you can never, ever, ever get them back. Like seeing your baby's first steps, or just little things you never know, like sitting down and having a movie night, or whatever it may be for you, taking your boys fishing, or dancing with your daughter. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking of different things to bring up, but those are times that you can never, ever, ever get back. You blink an eye, now your kid's in college, graduating high school, driving. My oldest son, he's 15, and he's bigger than I am. And he's a couple of years, he's going to be in college. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, where did the time go? My nephew, who has been like I've been very close to him since he's a little boy, and he's very close to my son. I feel like I was just watching him play Little League Baseball a few years ago. And now he plays baseball for the Naval Academy, which I'm extremely proud of. Don't get me wrong, but that's what I'm trying to say, is just time flies by. You get in this monotonous rut of wake up, go to work, do your job, come home, spend a little time with the family, maybe watch the same stupid fucking show every night or whatever it is, eat dinner, take a shower, go to bed, whatever. And you start getting in this rut. Guys, make life worth it. Okay. Be happy. And like you heard what I said at the beginning of this podcast. So I'm not saying that I don't fail to do some of these things at the same time, but everything I'm telling you are things that I strive to do myself. Okay. Don't let anybody else affect your mood, or the way you think about the outcome of your day, your week, your month, your life, your year, whatever. Stay positive. Please, please stay positive. So I won't keep going. I won't beat this dead horse. I want you guys to all know that I love the fuck out of you. I really do. I thank all of you for your support, man. The support that all of you have given me over the years that I've been podcasting, whether it's been with this podcast or the other podcast that I did, it really, really means a lot to me. And I know there's a core group of people that are really, really loyal supporters. And then some of you that kind of hop in and out. Regardless, I'm talking about all of you. There's a lot of things that I've wanted to do with this podcast that I haven't done. And that's been for my own reasons. But I really, really want to take some things to the next level in due time. But I don't want to give you broken promises. I don't want to say I'm going to do something that I'm not sure that I can. So I'm just going to stop doing that. But we will keep making sure there's a podcast out every week. I want to start doing the live streams again to be able to talk to people. And I am willing to start that private group for any of you out there. If you don't want a group setting and you want it one-on-one, I'm willing to talk to anybody. Or if I can't be the one, I'm willing to try to help you get to somebody that can help you. If you're out there and you're dealing with a drug addiction, alcoholism, mental health issues, please get the help that you need. Please. All right. It's normally when they go untreated, they don't get better, they get worse. So definitely get the help that you need. All right. Yeah, I guess I'm going to let that. Me and Kelly will be back at it next week. Really excited work-wise. We are finally moving into our new office. I'm so pumped. The team that we have here is amazing, and they've built this company long before me, being 100% remote. And I don't know how they did it, but I have nothing but credit for Ryan and Amanda here for how they built this up. And I couldn't do it. Maybe I'm just a little older and old school, that I definitely love having the office. And we've definitely gotten to the point where we need an office to grow. And I'm so excited. We are going to start filming that and taking you guys behind the scenes with us as we start furnishing the office and, just setting it up in our day-to-day routine as far as how it looks, what we do, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. Just the setup in general. So definitely stay tuned to the Facebook group, the YouTube channel, and we'll have those videos on there for that. And we might even start making some videos of just like a day-to-day vlog, just what we do on a daily basis, how we run our business, and some of the ups and downs that we have that happen in every HVAC business, trade business, etc. So if that's something you're interested in, let us know. If you're not already subscribed to the podcast, you can check us out on all of the major podcast apps, whichever one that you choose to listen to your podcast. Just search HVAC Uncensored, subscribe to it. It'll be there every week waiting for you when we download one. Obviously, the podcast comes out every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're in the Facebook group, HVAC Uncensored Nation, I'd probably say the last 50, 60 podcasts are all pinned in the announcements at the top of the group. So if you click on there, you should be able to go back and see most of them. So they're all there if you don't want to do that. The audio version does go on YouTube. We do shoot video during the podcast, and we just haven't been putting them out. But a lot of people have asked, and that's one of my things. I'm a perfectionist, that I want them to look perfect. So I end up not doing it. So I'm going to try to start just putting the video out there. I'm not going to doctor it up. I'm just going to get it out there for you and just put it on YouTube, the video portion, because there has been a lot of people asking, and I definitely think we should do that, especially something that's so easy. I have it. All I got to do is just put it out. So, all right, 43 minutes of sitting me talk about this. If you guys have made it this long, I thank you. If you listen to this and you have none of these issues, then God bless you. I'm glad that you don't, have to deal with any of that. If you are out there dealing with any of the issues that we talked about today, this morning, whenever you're listening to this, like I said, go get help. You're not alone. And if I can help any of you in any way, please let me know. I'm willing to talk to anybody, do a private call, private Zoom meeting, whatever it takes. Because like I said, it'll help me in the same time. Remember, man, I love you guys, man. I appreciate each and every one of you for all the support that you've given us. Remember to be safe out there. Always make it home the same way you left. We all got somebody to make it home to. All right. Do the little things. Do the little things and set yourself apart from the next guy. All right. Me and Kelly talk about things on this podcast and have guests on this podcast for the last 2+ years of ways to set yourself apart from the next guy. All right. Until next time, man, I'll talk with you mofos later. I love you, motherfuckers. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.